Yes. Uh-huh. Just so that we know, Heidi Hodges Superior Court case summary. Yes. Marianne Poe, she was married to Tim Hodges. Yes. hmm And there's two default dissolutions of marriage petitions of the court. Yes. Now, Jefferson County. Yes. I want you to remove the fraud of the arrest for the allegation of violating the restraint provisions of the protection order. I want you to remove the fraud of the mental health evaluations. Yes. I actually wasn't in Brennan, Washington, and I have not been cyber stalking. Yes. And I didn't violate any of the contact provisions of the protection order. Yes. Now, Jefferson County Sheriff's Department. Yeah. I'm wanting to sue you. Now, I want you to remove the fraud. Well, it looks like when getting divorced from her second husband. Yes. Respondent, petitioner. Filing fee was paid. Petition for dissolution of marriage. Yeah. Summons, declaration of service, something that didn't happen in my dissolution of marriage. No, there was never a declaration of service. It was always mail returned unclaimed. Uh, Declaration in support, certificate of service, didn't have any of those during the dissolution of marriage. Then there was a motion for default dissolution of marriage. Yeah. Order of default, motion hearing commissioner. Yes. And then there was a denial of the motion. Oh, then there's a parenting plan, certificate of service. Yes. Motion for a fault again, default. Yes. And then, like, no, we're not going to allow for you to have an order of default dissolution of marriage. Poop. Now, Commissioner Thomas Mahan did hear that case. Yes. And then about a month later, child support worksheets in July of 99. Yes. Parenting plan final order. Yes. Findings of fact and conclusion of the law. Yes. Decree of dissolution. Right. Motion hearing Marion Waters. Yes. Certificate of parenting classes. Heidi Griggs Hodges. Information, filing fee, petition, motion to modify. This is sometime after that. Yes. Mhm. And you just issued one reference number for the Hodges divorce. But I got two of them. Now, I just want you to just remove the fraud. Yes. I'd like you to do that. And then I'd like you to give me custody of my sons because you have no jurisdiction to have them removed from my custody. Now, as I mentioned, these dissolutions of marriage. Yes. The Hodges dissolution of marriage only got one reference number. Oh, but the Bosma dissolution of marriage only got one reference number. Yes. I got two of them. Oh, and I didn't get any notice of actual court hearings. Yes. Now, this is a great concern to me because it looks like Heidi Lee Griggs, the maiden name of the woman that I married. Yes. There was a marriage application. Oh, it was the application and the certificate? Yes. No, my bad. I thought it was two marriage certificates. Oh, you had to wait 10 days. Oh, I was wrong. I'm sorry, I should have read that. Oof. Well, when she applied for the marriage application and waited 10 days and got this marriage certificate. Yeah. Is there any problem with that? No. I thought it was a 3 days, but maybe I'm wrong. Exactly how long? Oh, when do you just? Oh, well, I'm just looking here because as I look at it, well, when you only issued one reference number for the Bosma divorce. Yes, but I have two reference numbers. Is there some reason why you did my divorce different than? than the other ones? Are you upset right now? Well, for 7 years and 9 months, you've kept me from my sons. And you issued a permanent order for child support where the United States Treasury has an obligation to collect any payment that the federal government would pay to me. Yes. To, well, why is there only one reference number for the Bosma divorce? Yes. And there's one for the Hodges dissolution of marriage, but there is two for the dissolution of. You know, this is a really great concern because it looks like you're intentionally committing the crime of fraud so as to really fuck up my personal life right now. Um, you don't want to remove your fraud, and the reason for that is you don't want me to sue you. Well, I'm going to sue you. Yep. And I'm going to sue the United States Treasury for letting you do what you do. Because the law requires certain due processes. Now, I just I just wanted to make sure you understand that it's against the law to do what you're doing. Yes. Now, this issue of the $81,000 in 2016, yeah. When you arrested me knowing I wasn't in Sequim, Washington, yes. This garnishment order, yes. The Treasury has to garnish any and all refunds that I would get from the federal government. Well, I'm going to want my sons today. Are you sure my wife's not still married? Is there? Well, I'm going to want you to remove the fraud of the child support orders, the fraud of the dissolution of marriage, yes, and I want you to give me my sons. Now, as much as you don't think you have to do it, you actually do. Now, well, Judge, you put me in jail for 27 days, yes, knowing I wasn't in Sequim, Washington, yeah, because I wasn't in Sequim, Washington. Phew. You intentionally said I was incompetent, yes, knowing that I hadn't been in Brandon, Washington, and I wasn't cyber stalking. Now, you have no problem harassing, torturing, terrorizing, and violating the laws of the United States. And then when I tell you that I'm going to sue you, you act like I don't have the legal right to do that. See, you can't dismiss a case where I wasn't in that city and I wasn't cyber stalking. Yes. You cannot make up crimes against innocent American citizens. Well, you had me arraigned on January 5th of 2016. Yes. You give me an order for child support for 81,000 fucking dollars, knowing that I never got notice of court hearings. The marriage certificate was issued from the United Nations, that you never gave me a dissolution of marriage, and you issued two reference numbers on the same day as a dissolution of marriage. You cannot violate the laws of the United States. Well, I'm going to want to sue you, Sheriff. I want it. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to take every fucking thing that you own. And then